Good day. Fallout 4 is shaping up to be one of the more popular games of the year. Why? Because the hype train has set sail and is chugging along into town. And
Trains don't sail.
What?
Trains don't sail.
Whatever. You can put a big-ass sail on a train. As you can hear, I'm joined by the M-Man, and today we are going to discuss Fallout 4. Is it going to be good, is it going to be bad, or is it merely going to be passable? Now, as you all know, assuming you actually have seen the various videos where I've talked about it, I am a huge fan of Fallout New Vegas, as is the M-Man. I believe Fallout New Vegas has got to be one of the best open-world RPGs ever made. Why? Because it has really good writing, it has really good characters, and there's still plenty of gamey exploration throughout. And overall, it is vastly superior, in my opinion, IMO, to Skyrim, Oblivion, and Fallout 3. So, to me at least, Fallout 4 has a lot of big shoes to fill, and it better not fill them with crap. So, man, what does Fallout 4 look like to you?
It looks like it's gonna be an overhyped, mechanically passable game with a lot of wasted potential, as is the case with most of Bethesda's games. Because even though they play okay, even though I can't really say anything bad about the gameplay itself, the stories and the characters are where they suffer most. Because they always try to make up for it with, "Oh my god, look at all of this lore that we have written as the backstory. Here, read this book inside the game." They miss out on any and all characters by either giving us static cutouts, static cardboard cutouts that just dispense quests, or very, very shallow characters with a story that doesn't really even make you think at all.
I would agree with that to a point. I do like the lore books, but here's the thing.
Look, I'm not saying anything bad about the lore books. I have no problem with lore books. In fact, I would encourage that a lot more in most games. However, if that's all you have, then the story, the world seems flimsy. Because if I need to read about exemplary adventures and great characters while I'm playing a game where I should be experiencing that, then you have a serious problem.
Well, and I would agree with that, actually. See, Oblivion and Skyrim both, some people would say, you don't play it for the story. Well, then, to you, sir or madam, who say that, go fuck yourself. The thing is, Oblivion and Skyrim had terrible stories. They had great worlds, they had great lore, but the characters were, as you said, cardboard cutouts. Fallout 3 did a lot better than Oblivion and Skyrim in actually giving us a really good world. In fact, Fallout 3 was my very first non-BioWare RPG, and I likened it to a BioWare RPG because the voice acting was good, the characters were pretty good. But Fallout 3 doesn't hold a nuclear-powered candle to Fallout New Vegas, mainly because Fallout 3 had, well, no factions, really. You had to join the Brotherhood of Steel, you had to fight against the Enclave, and you only had a few choices here and there. Whereas Fallout New Vegas, holy shit, you can go independent, you can side with Mr. House, you can side with the NCR, you can side with Caesar's Legion, or Caesar's Legion, as he should be known. You can do so much more. And that's the thing, Bethesda shunts all their money, just shovels it into two things. Merchandising, 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 and hype. You got fucking bus ads of Fallout 4. You got little shitty games released to hype it up. But will we see that same amount of effort put into the actual game? I don't see that happening, and I don't like the idea of voice-acted main characters, because that's where that's going to be a really big... I don't like this just for so many reasons. I didn't like it when Dragon Age did it, and I really can hate it when they do it here, because there's so much less you can say. It's just going to be select either super good guy, super neutral guy, super bad guy.
To be fair, that was also the problem in Fallout 3, and the protagonist wasn't voiced there, because, well, that was the nature of the game. It was just stunted, because the guy is like, the reason why Fallout 3 was considerably better than Oblivion, for instance, is because the bedrock upon which the Fallout legacy was built was a lot sturdier, a lot more a lot thicker than anything in Elder Scrolls, because Fallout was known for games with a lot of a grayer morality, where you as a player were forced to think, engage more in dialogue, where it was, literal dialogue, as opposed to earlier Elder Scrolls, where dialogue was literally just a way of getting information on how to finish this quest here and there. Or
as Sweeney would say, name, job, buy.
Pretty much, or in this case, quest, rumors.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's not to say that there's not memorable moments in Oblivion when it comes to characters, but usually it's more what we put into it than anything else. Like Mazoga the Orc. Why do we remember that? Because the voice acting sucked, not because she was a well-rounded character.
Exactly. Are you the Count? Yes. You're lying. You're no Count.
Exactly. And Bethesda does have a really bad job when it comes to voice acting. Like, Fallout 3...
Actually, let's put a caveat on that. They have they do a very bad job when it comes to voice acting when it's not the multi-million priced celebrity voice actor that they bring in.
Yeah, that is a problem because, okay, in Oblivion, what did you have? You had Patrick Stewart as the Emperor, and he dies literally in the tutorial. Then you had fucking Ned Stark, I forget his name.
Sean B.
Ned Stark, and he's barely in the game, and the rest are like film school rejects. I know they're really not. I've had people send me comments like saying, "Oh, these are great voice actors. They have all these voice acting credits." Well, then they didn't do a very good job for Oblivion, okay? There's actually a YouTube video. I don't remember what the title is. They literally... you won't believe it. You won't believe it. They literally left a mistake take in the game.
Yeah, I remember that one. Everybody's seen it by now.
I mean, I get that it's haha, lol, so random, but that's still pretty shit. You didn't see it. You didn't see Obsidian do that.
And they release glitched games all the time.
I don't know how glitched they are. I mean, I get that there's...
Whatever.
Like, okay, KOTOR 2 was supposed to be really glitchy. And yeah, the first time I played it on the Xbox, there was a game-breaking glitch. But every time after, it worked just fine for me. So, I don't ever talk... And Fallout New Vegas only crashed whenever it crashed because I had a shitload of mods installed. So, I don't think Obsidian's games are any more glitchy than, say, Bethesda. In fact, I'd go as far to say, and I mentioned this in the Skyrim review, that Bethesda had a game-breaking bug in their multi-million-dollar overhyped game. Where I literally couldn't finish a main quest because the fucking door wouldn't open and I had to go through the console commands. Oh, sure, they patched it later, but how are they better than Obsidian? And they've got shitloads more money.
But you got to understand, they put it all into marketing. You want to know how bad it is? I was literally like 7 days ago, I think, or somewhere around there. Actually, 8 days. I was in Vienna, Austria, right? It was like a trip I took just so that my ass could see something else other than my own home. And over there, in like the bus stops, the tram stops, whatever, there were fucking ads for Fallout 4. I shit you not. In fucking Vienna, Austria. And it's like, I know, it's like, Vienna, Austria, that's a place. Yeah, but it's a very fucking tiny place compared to places like Germany, Great Britain and shit. That's how much money they pump into marketing. Let's not even forget the immense Dragonborn 3-building poster that made a single image. That shit had to have cost at least $100K. Because these guys, like, they will hype it to high holy hell and back, and they know how to market it because the games are bland enough to where nobody's offended in any way. But they also work on a psychological, kinesthetic gameplay level where everybody can love it. Compare this to Fallout New Vegas, where the General and I, to this day and beyond, we will have discussions over who is right in choosing their faction. I keep saying that the wildcard option is the best option, whereas General keeps saying that the NCR option is the best option, and we will constantly have debates over this. Not because it was so poorly written that there's no conclusive answer, but because it's so ambiguous and so well written that it's almost too realistic as to how a literal political discussion would go. That's where most of the money went, in figuring out the world, making it logical, having it make sense, and having it be something that depends on you, the player, on how it will end, rather than how we, the developers, will choose for you how it'll end. Because even in Fallout 3, get this, even though you have these good actions and evil actions, you still get the same fucking ending no matter... Okay, I wouldn't say the same fucking ending no matter what. You can poison the water supply, you can clean the water supply. I'm actually wrong on this.
Well, but it really is kind of the same ending. It's either... And once again, this is how Spoonie put it, because I don't want to rip him off. It's like, he was a paragon of virtue and saved everyone he saw, or he was a vile villain who killed everyone he saw. And that's really the only two choices you have in Fallout 3.
And it makes no fucking sense, because, like, okay, you can be a good guy, or you can be the son of fucking Satan. Why would you ever want to be the son of Satan? Why wouldn't you go with what? Because this is, again, how Fallout New Vegas does it better. It depends not on whether you want to be good or evil, like a complete fucking retard. It depends on what your personal philosophy is in life. Because, okay, let's say you want something that will be a lot closer to what we have now, in terms of, you know, government and organization. You will go with NCR because you think it's like, even though there's a lot of red tape, they have a professionally organized army which will keep the populace a lot safer than anything else. Or if you're like me, even though I personally wouldn't ever put this into practice in real life, exactly. For somebody like me who doesn't like that fucking idea where there's a shitload of red tape, you go with the wild card option, where there is a defensive force in the city, but people are generally left to do whatever the hell kind of crap they want, so long as nobody's hurting anyone without their consent. So basically, there's not a lot of laws, but there's just a general fucking rule.
Yeah.
Do not harm others unless they are harming you.
Exactly. Contrast that to Skyrim. Skyrim has one main quest, and that is stop Alduin. And you don't really have a choice in that. You either stop him, or you just go into a random cave. That's it. The Civil War quest is nothing more than a faction quest. It literally is just a faction quest, like what you'd have seen in Oblivion. And I mentioned this in the review itself, but like you can either save the Empire, who are the good guys, who will fight the elf Nazis, or you side with the Nords, who will be free for about 5 minutes and then get conquered and exterminated by the elf Nazis. Not much moral ambiguity there. Then, of course, you have Oblivion, where you can either A, help stop Mehrunes Dagon, or B, help stop Mehrunes Dagon. Or C, just go into a random cave and never touch the main quest. Now, I think you mentioned that the writer for Fallout 4 is the same one who wrote Skyrim, the tome of great lore that one was, and also Fallout 3.
Yes, he wrote Elder Scrolls. He apparently did work on Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. That, Fallout 3, and Skyrim. And, he also worked on Fallout Shelter and is also writing Fallout 4. So,
unless he has really increased his writing chops, and he might have. We don't know. We don't know him. Maybe he did.
He might have. He probably did. But
it's compared that to Fallout New Vegas, and what, were there like 5 writers on that thing?
There were 3 main writers. There's also individual writers for quests and characters, similar to BioWare. But here's the thing. For the main writers for Fallout New Vegas, you have John Gonzalez, Chris Avlon, and Eric Fenstermaker. And Chris Avlon is known for putting a lot of putting philosophy, even though it is his personal one, at least it's philosophy, into the games and discussing it at length. You know, where characters represent this, and that, and that, and this, and not just this character represents the forces of good, and this character represents the forces of evil. It's like, it actually has this thing called fucking complexity.
And that's the thing. Besides, you know, Fallout New Vegas, 3 writers versus 1 guy. And his previous credits aren't that amazing when it comes to writing. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, just play it as a game, not as a story. But when we can clearly see that both gameplay and story can intersect and make a much richer experience, well, there's no real excuse. It's like saying, you don't need tires on that car, just drive on the metal. People can look at you like you're a complete idiot. So, yeah. The thing is, the sheer amount of merchandise is just insane. And you know what? I think the director of Fallout 4 I remember reading that he had a degree in, I think, economics and a few other things. So he knows what he's doing, and he does it well. So we're not talking about the game as it's going to suck. It's just not going to be as good because they're focusing more on churning out them dollars than making a quality game. And that's why modding support is so necessary, because if there is no modding support, that game will die. Because Fallout New Vegas was good without mods, really, because there was enough story there to basically hold your interest, whereas Fallout 3 had decent amounts of story, but Skyrim and Oblivion, if they hadn't had mods, nobody'd care, because they're pretty shitty games without mods.
Pretty much.
I hate to admit it, though. I'm not going to be pre-ordering it just because I won't have the money in time to do so, and I won't be getting the special edition because I don't got that kind of money either. But if I did, I probably would. See, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I will admit to this. Simply because I like Fallout enough that I would like to support the game, even if I will tear it apart once I review it. Assuming I have to tear it apart, maybe I won't. I don't know. But I like the idea of the collector's edition coming with a replica of the Pip-Boy. I almost called it the Hip-Boy. No, man, it'd be hip.
He'd be hip, he'd be cool, he'd be swag.
Exactly. I would buy that. And I'd wear it. I'd wear it around. I'd be a fucking idiot wearing my smartphone attached to it. I would. You know? But ultimately it comes down to, will the game be better than Fallout New Vegas? And I think not. I also don't think it's going to be worth the hype that it is. I could be wrong. But we'll see. Yeah, man, final thoughts?
Fallout 4 is gonna be an overhyped, overloved, generic, though mechanically passable game that people will hype to high holy hell and back because it was well marketed and because they have absolutely no experience with games that are more complex than go kill bad guy. Huh.
And so, we shall see if it's any good. But for now, this is General Lotz wishing you good Fallout New Vegas. And
KOTOR 2.
Or whatever makes you happy.